Okay, what's up guys? I've actually been wanting to do this video all day, but I've been extremely drained. I'm tired. I'm stressed. But I think I want to get on with this. I'm going to tell you guys basically about one of the craziest dreams I've ever had. Probably hands down, the craziest dream I've ever had in my life. And I definitely think it was from God, because it was the wildest dream. And it involves my body being taken over in the dream. And I can't wait to share that with you guys. But before we talk about the dream, I want to talk about how bad of a son I've been to God. And this should really show you guys God's character and how good and merciful he is, and how slow to anger he is, how patient he is, how understanding God is, because I've been terrible and God has done a massive amount for me. Okay, so we're going to talk about how bad I am as a son, and then I'm going to share with you guys my dream. Okay, a dream that I had a while ago. This is a dream I had when I was in a relationship with her, actually. Okay, so I'm a terrible son, right? And the first example of this is God told me that my second daughter, who I'm just going to pop up on the screen, my second daughter, who is a complete monster, a hoodlum, a bad child. She's terrible, right? He told me he gave me her to show me who I am. And so basically she's a reflection of me. So if she's bad, I'm bad. And it follows, because my daughter, my second one, does not listen. She does not obey most people, right? And as you hear my story, or how bad of a son I am as I talk about it, you're gonna see I'm not very obedient either. Nor do I listen to God when He gives me very clear signs, very clear that He's doing things in my life, and I still don't listen. Okay. So I think the first one I'm gonna say is, when everything was going down, the relationship was about to crash and burn. I didn't know what to believe, right? I'm a very trustful person. Very gullible. I'm very naive. And it's because I have a lot of love. So if you say something to me, more than likely I'm going to believe it. Even though I do have a skeptical mind, if you're close to me, if you're someone close to my heart, I'm going to believe you. Okay? So I was torn up about the relationship. I couldn't quite understand why it fell through and why we couldn't work these things out. And I was trying my hardest, right? I remember I asked God, because I was suffering through the breakup. I was laying on my back. I had my daughter beside me. So I asked God, I was like, yo, and it's funny because I'm sorry I get that long pause. I was thinking, like, it's funny because I asked God right before He already did something amazing in my life. There was a point where basically I was shaking all over. Nothing could give me peace. And then God had given it to me. And that was a miracle in itself, because I became completely still, even though I was shaking all over my body. Okay. So fast forward, it was like 2 days after that event, I asked God, what should I do? Right. Because part of me already knew I should let her go. But obviously I felt like I couldn't, because I needed my kids. Right. I knew they needed to be with me. Okay. Because one, I believed in God. Like I knew how I wanted to raise them. Okay. So I asked him, and he actually answered. And I think he answered because he don't always be answering. I think he answered immediately because it was needed, right? I think God knew what was going to happen these next couple of months, which pathways could have led, how crazy it was about to get, right? So he answered me. He said, let her go. He told me that night, let her go. And I accepted it when he said it. And then the same night after I fell asleep, he sent me a dream to show me what she was about to get involved in. Okay. So that very night he told me to let her go. And then he sent me a dream to verify that this is why she's leaving, right? It's not because of all the things she's saying. It's because she wants to go have fun. She wants to live for the world. She wants to live a life that's separate from God, basically. Okay. And I did not listen to him. I was like, no. I didn't say no exactly in that moment, but when it was time to let her go and not chase, I chased her. I chased her for sure. I did not care what God said. Did not trust God, because it's not necessarily that I didn't trust God. It's more so that I don't always believe that it's God talking to me. My faith is, I would say I have decent faith, but it's not, I'm not Moses, bro. I'm not some of the guys in the Bible. Not yet. I'm not up there yet. You know what I mean? So and I'm the only one that experiences a lot of stuff that's around me. Like most of the people that's around me aren't very Christian, aren't as devoted as me, and they don't experience what I experience. So to me, I'm thinking I'm crazy half the time. Like I'm thinking I'm tripping. I'm thinking I'm talking to myself. I don't know. Even though, like I said, certain things happen and it's obviously God, but I still question it. I still doubt. Okay. So that's another one example right there where I'm bad. I did not listen and it caused more problems. Okay. There was, I'm trying to think of all of the times, obviously I'm sinful. I fall into sin all the time, many of times. And I will say more times than not, if you're a sinful person, it's because you don't trust God. That's how I know that's the case, is because sin is comfort for me. Like if I fall into certain sins, like, pornography, lust, sex, I'll like say I try to get drunk, which is a rarity, but say I do try to get drunk. I fall into those sins to comfort myself, and that's because I don't trust God to help me overcome these things. So that's how I fall into sin. So then maybe that's you as well. So that's another reason why I'm bad. Okay. There was one time where God was telling me, he was actually talking to me, and he was telling me certain plans that were going to happen in my life. He was telling me certain events, certain things that were going to happen, right? He was literally telling me. And I remember talking back to him, and I was like, if this happens, I'll do this, right? And I remember as soon as I said if, right, God was mad. He was like, don't say if. Or I can't remember exactly what he said, but basically around those lines, he was mad. And he was like, do not say if, right? Because he's Almighty God. If you know anything about God, he can do whatever he wants. It's just on his time. You don't have to be patient. You have to wait for when God's ready to give it to you, if he decides to give it to you. But if he promises it to you, God's not a liar. He's definitely going to give it to you. Okay. So I remember in that moment, I said if, and I didn't even believe him. I still didn't believe him. He told me not to say if. He told me to believe as well. And I guess what? I did not believe him. So I ended up more depressed as well. I stayed in depression because I refused to listen to God in that moment as well. It was only as time went on that I saw that the stuff God was telling me was coming true, is when I decided to actually believe in God and put my full and utter faith in him, because I feel like God's low-key holding me back because he's trying to do something big in my life to help other people believe. Okay. I wish I had more to show you of how bad of a son I am, but I think those are the only three that I can think off the top of my head. The time when he told me to let her go and I disobeyed, the time, all the sinning I've been doing, while I was in the depression, the time where I was like, if, and then I refused to listen to what he said he had planned for me and what certain things were going to happen, simply refused. And God was still by my side during all this, still loving me, still trying to guide me, still trying to give me direction, still close to me. He even said nice things about me as well. He said a lot of things that I couldn't even believe, because yeah, I'm a terrible son. And I remember I used to laugh at like the Israelites in the Bible. Like, you know how Moses led some of the Hebrews out of the captivity from the Egyptians. He brought them out of slavery, and God was the one leading them. And then they still worshiped idols even though they saw all these miracles. I used to laugh at those guys because I'm like, bro, y'all saw all of this and y'all still rejected God. I'm the same way. We're no better than those guys. Even when God does insane miracles and stuff in our lives now, especially for me, it's still hard to believe because we're so focused on the world and things in front of us. We're so focused on our problems, the storms around us, that it's so hard to it's so easy to doubt God, is the best way to put it. So I doubt it. And God was still merciful. God was still with me. Granted, if I made more poor choices, like really bad ones, I probably wouldn't receive maybe the blessings that are about to come to me. But thankfully, God's merciful, God's understanding, God's patient, God is kind, God is good, honestly good. Because he stayed with me, even though I was hard-headed and I'm completely stubborn. And I'm going to throw my daughter up there one more time so y'all can really see this girl's a hoodlum. And he said she's a reflection of me. Okay? Love her to death. Now, let's move on. I'm going to tell you guys about this dream. This dream was amazing. Because it was probably the most intense dream that I've ever had in my life. And I definitely knew it was from God because of the ending, okay? And like I said at the beginning of this video, in this dream, my body gets taken over, and I'm excited to explain that to you guys. Okay. In the dream, I'm meeting one of my favorite YouTubers. And he's not my favorite YouTuber now, but he wasn't even my favorite YouTuber during that time of the dream, but at one point he was. And it was because he became Christian around the same time that I became Christian. So he was someone I looked up to and actually admired because I could relate to him. So I watched him a lot. Eventually, I came out of falling out with him and my admiration for him. Oh, I guess I still admired him. I just didn't look up to him as much because he was all over the place when it came to what he believed in. And I think that was more so due to his influence. And that and him having all that influence and all those people always in his ear, I think affected his walk with God in some way or shape. So I'm meeting him. I'm at his house. I'm at his house and I'm meeting him at his house. And again, at this time, I'm not really watching him. I don't watch his content. He's all over the place. But I still admire him just because he's relatable and we both Christian. So I'm meeting him. I'm at his house, and my family's there, and my family's meeting his family. And well, I got 2 daughters, right? I got 2 daughters from the mother of my kids. When I'm in this dream and I'm at his house, I have many kids. I have a lot of kids. I have more than 2. I have way more than 2. I have a lot of kids, and I don't see my 2 daughters in the dream. They could be any of the other kids, maybe older. I'm going to assume older because I had many kids. So that means they had to have age, but I couldn't visually see their physical attributes. But I knew they were my kids. I knew they were my kids. I couldn't see the mother of my kids either, the one that I was actually with at the time that I was having the dream, the mother of my 2 kids. I could not see her. That should have been low-key telling. And that time as well, because if I couldn't see her in the dream and I had many kids, it's probably meaning that she's not going to be the mother of my future kids, right? Okay? And I think that's the tell, right? I did not see her in the dream. She should have been there, right? But at the time, I'm thinking she's going to be the mother of my kids. She's my forever. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so in the dream, I go hang out with him because he's the one I wanted to meet. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. We go back to his little setup area, his content area, and we go to talk. And in the dream, I'm looking at him, and he's short. He's really short. He's like a small person. Some people, the term used to be midget, but they use small person now, a little person. Yeah, he's small. He's not a little person, but he's short like one, right? Well, I guess that would make someone a little person, but he is really small. He's way smaller than me, but in real life, he's bigger than me. He got a good amount of inches on me, right? So I'm thinking why is this guy shorter than me in the dream? I'm why is he short? And I remember I asked God a week ago about that. He refused to tell me. But yeah, he was short in the dream. But eventually that changes and we end up going back to just hang out with the family. Eventually the dream transitions. It switches to us outside and it's at this outside mall. And I'm looking for my youngest daughter, not my current daughters. Because again, they have to be somewhat grown. Because I have many kids. I have a lot of kids. A lot of kids. I'm telling you, bro, a lot of kids. And I'm looking at my youngest daughter. I guess she's the youngest out of all of them because it's she's really dear to my heart. And I guess when you have really young kids, they're going to be very close to you because you feel you have to protect them because they're young. They're very young. So I'm looking for her. I'm not overly worried for some reason, but I'm looking for them. And I guess it's because the dream was good. Everything was good so far. Nothing was crazy. So I'm looking for her all over this outside mall. And I think I see her, but it's the back of her. She has a beanie on and a coat or something. I'm not sure exactly what she was wearing, but I go up to her and I grab her shoulder and I turn her around and I realize it's not my daughter. And I take her cap off to check, and she's bald. She's bald and she's sick. It's a sick little girl, and it's not my daughter. And this guy comes up behind me and he taps me on my back and he points. I turn around. He points at this other lady. It's a conjoined twin lady. He points to give this little girl to her. And I look at both of them, and both of them look like demons, even though they look like people. But I could see that they're demons, even though they look like people. And they're both they're acting like people, and they're give me the girl. I got her. I'll take care of her type vibe, right? That's the vibe they're trying to give off. But I can clearly see that they're demons. So I'm not going to give them the little girl. I don't know why they want her either, because she's a sick little girl. She's sick. She's, I'm pretty sure got bright spirit. Maybe that's why they're going for her, because she's a little girl. They're pure. Most, kids are pure. So I take her. I'm running. right? I'm out of here. I'm not giving her to them, right? So the person stays there. The man that tapped me, he doesn't come after me, but the conjoined twin person comes after me, and they're running after me, and I'm terrified in this dream. And so most dreams that I have, I can lucid dream. So if I have a dream, it depends on the dream now. Like if God sends me a message most of the time, it's just a message. Like I don't do anything to it. I can't control it. It's just a message. But if it's just like some wacky fantasy type thing, I can more than likely control the dream. Like 70% of the dream I can control. And if I can't control it 100%, what I normally do to the dream is I break it. I break the dream. What I mean by I break it, I freeze it. I'll freeze the dream. Like say there's a scary point and I can't control it and like I can't overcome it, I will freeze the dream in that part. Like nothing can stop. Like it'll just be frozen, and then it'll just kind of like repeat, and it will never get past that point because I halted the dream. So, but in this dream, I realized that this is all a dream. I knew all of this was a dream. I let it continue the way it was going to go because it was not bad, and then it turned bad. The demon was chasing me, and like I said, I was terrified in the dream. I got a little girl, I'm running. And I knew it was a dream. And again, I can lucid dream. So I took control of the dream. I started to fly. I forced myself to fly because I knew it was a dream. So I started to fly. And then I looked back and the demon started to fly after me. The conjoined twin lady. You know, she's a demon to me at this point. I know what she is. So she's coming after me and I get more terrified, right? I'm not very creative, by the way. So that was like my last resort for some reason. So I'm extremely terrified of this thing coming for me because it started to fly as well. It's like it's not going to give up if I can't stop it. And out of nowhere, I feel this feeling in my chest. It's like a warm, like strong, warm sensation in my chest, all over my chest. And I feel this, I feel something coming up my throat, right? And all I know is I feel the sensation, right, in my chest, and my head starts to force itself back, and my mouth starts to force itself open, and I can't control my body anymore. Like I know it's like it's like my being's getting pushed to the back seat, like I'm taking a back seat to my body, and I will tell you this: I did not like it. By the way, when my body got taken over in that moment, I did not like it. I did not like it, and I think I didn't like it because I wasn't used to it happening to me. But it was like, it's literally like you're getting taken over. Like you don't have a choice in the matter. And I think that's what you don't like. It's like, it just doesn't feel right. It's one way to put it. But, it happened. And while it was happening, right, we're in the air. I'm in the air. The thing's coming after me. I'm sitting back watching from my eyes. And as my mouth's getting forced open and I can feel the sensation. And noises start coming out of my mouth, like as it came up through my throat and my mouth was wide open, noises just started coming out of my body. And they were like alien noises. Like I can't even describe how the noises were, but they were crazy. They weren't crazy. They were beautiful in their own way, but they were just different. Noises I'd never even heard before, right? And they just boom. It was booming. It was booming. Right. And again, my head's tilted back. My mouth is wide open. And while this is all happening, I'm in the air and I'm just watching this. I'm literally watching. I can feel everything in my chest and in my throat. And I can feel everything coming out of my mouth. And as the noises are being made, I instantly come to a peace in my being. Because remember, before this, I was terrified. All the terror was gone and I was completely at peace. And then instantly I knew as well, when this was happening, that nothing in the world could touch me. Nothing could touch me. As soon as all that ended, I woke up from the dream. And when I woke up from the dream, I felt the same sensation that I had in the dream. I felt it in my chest in real life as well. I felt it all over my chest. And it just felt like peace. It felt like nothing could touch you. And in the dream, the demon was gone. Nothing could, again, just like I had that feeling that nothing could touch me. Literally nothing could touch me. That, whatever that thing was, gone. Nothing could touch me. So yeah, that was probably the craziest dream I ever had. Because I never had a dream like that before. And I don't even really know what happened. I think I asked God a little bit about it, but I don't exactly remember what he said. Maybe I'll ask him again when he does choose to talk to me. But yeah, that is one of my craziest dreams that I've ever had. One of the wildest. I don't really, again, when I get a chance, I'll talk to God about it. But yeah, God is good. I don't really know what that dream really means, but like I said in one of the other videos, whatever's inside me, they don't want no parts of it. Whatever's carrying me or guiding me, it's the Holy Spirit. They can't touch me. Not while God's here protecting me, or while He's around me. They can't touch me, and God protects me. And I think that's more so what the dream was saying. That the Spirit of God is probably strong in me or something. I'm not sure. I'll probably just ask God again to get confirmation. But yeah, I think that was hands down the wildest dream I ever had. And to have that sensation as I woke up was a beautiful thing. Just felt so good. It felt so good. Like the peace you got from that feeling is insane. And I woke up sleeping to the mother of my kids. She was right beside me. And that was beautiful as well, just knowing she was right there in the bed, because I still love her. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching this. I'm not sure what you guys got from this. Hope you guys got something. And if you didn't, that's okay as well. But I really appreciate you guys listening. You guys take care, and God bless. Peace.